Hi, I'm Jamin Coller, and I'm going to help you today with the modes section. Now, what a mode is it's just playing a scale, but beginning and ending on a different note than you normally would. For example, if you know the C major scale, those are all the notes to the C major scale. Now, when we play the C major scale, we usually begin and end on C. Because we're in the key of C, we're playing the C major scale. That kind of makes sense. And all the notes, all the other notes kind of land in between. However, if we were to play the same exact scale, all white notes, no black notes, we would play the C major scale, but instead of beginning and ending on C, we began and ended on D. It would sound like this. It's still the C major scale, but it sounds kind of different because we're not beginning and ending where we usually do on C. Same exact group of notes. That's the first mode of C. The second mode of C sounds like that. It's the exact same notes, but it just kind of sounds different. That's what a mode is. So as you might imagine, there are 7 modes because there's 7 different notes in our major scale. So this is the first mode right here. Then the second mode, we go up another note, and that's our third mode. Here's our fourth mode, fifth, sixth, seventh, and then, of course, we're back to our first mode, beginning and ending on C. Let me show you 2 ways to find each of these modes. So mode number 1 is probably the easiest one. It's called Ionian, and that's just your regular major scale, beginning and ending on the 1 of the scale. So this is either C major or C Ionian, because it's the first mode of C. All right, so once we move to number 2, things get just a little bit more complex. There's 2 ways to figure this one out. If we want D, the second mode, it's called D Dorian. And in the Dorian mode, we can either go, all right, so Dorian is the second mode, so this would be the second of what key? And then we could figure back to find out that this is the 2 of this key, C. So we would, in order to play D Dorian, we'd have to go, all right, so D is the 2 in the key of C. So we're going to play the key of C, but begin and end on D. So that would sound like this. It might make more sense if I give you another example. For example, G Dorian. So if we want to play G Dorian, we're going to begin and end on G. But then we'd have to ask ourselves, all right, so G is the 2 of what key? The answer is F. So we would play the F major scale, but begin and end on G. That was G Dorian because we actually played the key that was the 2 of, and began and ended on G. So you can see that's one way to figure it out. Say, all right, so if we want to go back to D Dorian, D is the 2 of what, and then play that key. But there's another way to figure it out too. The second way to figure out these modes is to compare the mode not to the key that it would be some number of and have to calculate it back, but just compare it to the regular major scale. So if we want to play D Dorian, we'd say, all right, the D Dorian has what in it? And the answer is a lowered 3 and a lowered 7. So if we play just a regular D major scale, if you know that the Dorian mode has a lowered 3 and lowered 7, we'd go 1, 2, 3, and lower it. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, lower the 7 as well. And there we go. When we lower the 3 and the 7, we've got D Dorian. So again, our 2 ways are to say, all right, if we want D Dorian, Dorian is the second mode, so D is the 2 of what scale? Or we can just compare it to itself, the D major, and play a D major scale with a lowered 3 and a lowered 7. That's the 2 different ways to figure out the modes. Let's move on to mode number 3. This is Phrygian. So the Phrygian mode obviously is the third mode, so we can either say, all right, if we want to play E Phrygian, then E is the 3 of what? And the answer is C. So we would just play the C major scale, beginning and ending on the third note, or the E. Or you can memorize that the Phrygian mode has a lowered 2, 3, 6, and 7. So let's go to our E major scale. And we're going to lower the 2. 1, 2. Then 1, 2, 3. Lower that one as well. Then we go up to the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lower that one. And then 7 was right here. We lower that one as well. And we come up with E Phrygian. 1, lowered 2, lowered 3, 4, 5, lowered 6, lowered 7, and then back to E. Let me show you what that looks like in the key of C to make a little bit more sense of it. Again, we're lowering the 2, the 3, the 6, and the 7. So this is our C major scale. If we want to turn that into the E Phrygian, then we would lower the 2. 1, 2. So that's our 2. 3 is here. We're going to lower it to there. 6 is here. We're going to lower it to here. And 7 is here, so we're going to lower it to here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the C Phrygian. Let's move on to the fourth mode. Mode number 4 is called Lydian. With Lydian, we've got either we can say, all right, so this is the 4 of what? Again, the answer is C, so we just play the C major scale. Beginning and ending on the 4th note of that scale. Or we can just say, all right, so F goes like this. And memorize the Lydian mode has a raised 4. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. We raise that by a half step, and that's it to get the Lydian mode. So that's our F Lydian. Let me show it to you in C. This is our C. We take our 4 and raise it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Raise it to there, and this. That's C Lydian. Now, briefly here, let me show you how to find that the other way. So if we wanted to play C Lydian, we could say, all right, C is the 4 of what? The answer would be, it's the 4 of G. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to play the G major scale, but begin and end on C. So we come up with these notes for C Lydian. All right, we've just got 3 more to go. Number 5 is called Mixolydian. So here we go. We're on the 5th mode. We can say G is the 5 of what? C. And there you go. That's G Mixolydian. The other way to do it is to know that Mixolydian modes have a lowered 7. So this is our regular G scale, G major. We take that 7 and we lower it, and we've got G Mixolydian. The 6th mode is called Aeolian, and it sounds like that. What it has in it is a lowered 3. So if we go back to the major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's our A major scale. And like I said, we're going to lower that 3. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to lower that. It also has a lowered 6 and 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're going to lower those to there. And here's your A Aeolian. Now you might recognize that we lower the 3, 6, and 7 not only in the Aeolian mode, but also, if you're familiar with minor scales, the natural minor scale has a lowered 3, 6, and 7. So the Aeolian mode and the natural minor scale are the same exact thing. So if you're playing this, it's true that you're playing the 6th mode of C. You're also playing A Aeolian, and you're also playing A natural minor. So you got 3 names for that set of notes right there. All right, finally, we're at mode number 7. This is the Locrian mode, and it's got a lowered 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7. That's right, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7. So here's our 7th mode right here. Now, with the 7th mode, at this point, usually you're not thinking this note is the 7 of what key and having to go all the way back and find out that it's C. But since C is also right there, you can say, all right, so for the Locrian mode, for the 7th mode, what note is a half step higher? And it's that major scale. So if we're playing, for example, B Locrian, we're going to say, all right, so what note is a half step higher? The answer is C, so we play the C major scale, beginning and ending on B. So here it is. That's the B Locrian. Now, if we compare that to the B major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we lower the 2 to there, we lower the 3 to there, we lower the 5 to there, 6 to there, 7 to there, and there we go. We've lowered the 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7, and we have B Locrian. So, again, our two options are to say what note is a half step higher and play that scale, or to lower the 2, 3, 6, 5, 6, and 7. 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7. So, again, let me show you that in the key of C. So, if we want to play C Locrian, we would say, all right, so what note is a half step higher than C? The answer is C sharp. So if we play the C sharp or D flat major scale, but we just begin it and end it on C, that's the C Locrian. Well, there you go. That's the modes. 2 different ways to find each of the modes. Good luck. Have fun.